everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Joshua Gillis, and today is day 15 of the 31 Days of Horror Reviews, and I have another new movie. I watched a movie at the theater yesterday, and I have to say this one is by far my favorite film of the year, so this is going to be a very glowing review. For the new film, When Evil Lurks, it's a 2023 Argentinian film by Demian Rugna. I want to say, I'm very sorry if I'm butchering the name again. I'm very awful with pronunciations, especially in Spanish. But anyway, what's it about? Well, I don't want to spoil much about the film because there is a lot of twists and turns and plot things in this, but the basic overarching plot is this man named Pedro and his brother Jamie are, they live in this sort of like rural area a bit, or they're in a rural area at the beginning of the film. They're walking through the woods, they hear a gunshot, and they find this man. Well, it's a body of a man that's split in half, and they, obviously this is not good, so they go to this woman's house that lives nearby, after going this path, and she lives with her two sons, one of which is very diseased looking and gruesome and is referred to as a rotten, which is someone that's possessed by an unborn demon that is waiting to be birthed. And the only thing that can kill these demons is specified religious people. And they're waiting on him to come and kill this man. But Ruiz is this landlord. I'm sorry, God, I'm just messing up with what these titles are. He's like a landlord. He owns the area, and he wants these people off his property. Not Pedro and Jamie, but the boy, this nasty man. So they try to take him against the mother's best wishes, outside of town in their truck, and they move him and dump him nearby. And so starts the film, really. And what it comes down to is Jamie and Pedro and Reese and his family are all affected by this demonic presence that is trying to be birthed. And they have to try to stop what essentially is the Antichrist from being born. Now, it's a very basic plot summary, or not even really a plot summary. It's the first 20 minutes of the film, because everything past that is just insanity. To start the review, I want to say I never give I never say trigger warnings and stuff for horror films. But this one kind of needs one, because this is by far one of the most shocking, disgusting, disturbing, and legitimately unsettling movies I've seen in a very, very long time. That's not me overhyping it. I was in the theater watching this, and it is intense. And I went to watch this by myself, and it was I almost had a panic attack while watching this movie. And that very, very rarely happens. It's been a very, very long time since that's happened. But before then, if you are sensitive to young children and harm coming to them, sensitive to that topic, do not watch this. If you are sensitive or have trouble or passed around dog attacks, don't watch this. There is one that I'm not going to say what happens, but there's a dog attack scene that comes out of nowhere. And as someone that, had previous trauma with that from a child, it could be hard to watch, because it was hard to watch for me. So I just want to put that out there. Now that we got that out of the way, what do I like about the film? Well, first off, the writing this is very tight. The director of this also made Terrified, which was on Shudder a while back. Still is there, I'm assuming, because it was a Shudder original film. But this is much darker and mean-spirited in that. The writing is really good, though. Pedro is really our main character here. Jamie and Pedro's family are there as well. But Pedro is sort of like the lens that we see the events of this film happening, and he does a great job as this like distraught father that is trying to protect his family from this presence, and he's just a guy, and he has to watch things happen to his family that are frankly extremely shocking. And like his reactions and everything feel realistic, and seeing his sort of like downward spiral mentally as the film goes on, like him like sort of giving up and sort of you know giving into everything is very good and interesting. It's a harrowing watch. The entire cast in this though does a stellar job, and there's some child acting in this like towards the end that I thought was actually really good. There's a lot of creepy kids. I won't say why. Um, yeah, everybody in this does a stellar job. The music in this is also top notch. Really enjoyed the soundtrack a lot. Definitely going to be one I'm going to be listening to after this releases. Hopefully, we get like a separate soundtrack release of this. But it's really good, and the atmosphere and everything created through the cinematography is also near perfect. This is like one of the best shot and directed films I've seen in quite some time. Um, part of this is just because it's in Argentina. It's a beautiful place. Um, and I don't know, like the contrast between night and day in this is also really cool. And there's also things that happen during the day, like disturbing things, and it kind of gives you this like, nobody is safe from the beginning of the film. They make that very clear, especially not the children. Um, no one is safe, nothing is sacred, and just as bad of things can happen in the daytime as they do in the night. Um, and yeah, I talked about disturbing content, so this isn't really like a huge spoiler, but this is gonna be a description of a couple of things you'll see. I'm not saying who the characters it happens to, but these are things you'll see. So skip ahead a couple of minutes if you're coming up on this. No one does spoil at all. But anyway, you've been warned. So yeah, there's a dog attack that happens towards a child, and the child is like shaken very violently with the dog's head over the kid's head, like it's completely in his mouth, and it's so realistic that it greatly unnerved me. Fun fact: I have a lot of stitches in my head from a dog attack when I was a kid. So yeah, that brought back some memories, fun times. But it's so early in the film as well that it's like, man, shit goes from 0 to 100 real quick. You will see a child getting its brains removed and eaten and thrown about. You will see car crashes. You will see cannibalism. Away from that, you will see, broken bones, self-inflicted axe wounds, gunshots and everything. And it's all done to characters that you care about because it's so well written. Genuinely one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. And that's not me hyping this up too much. This is just a very intense film that needs to be noted. I think this is without a doubt the most graphic and disturbing film I've ever seen in a theater. And this is an exaggeration. Either during the middle of the movie, one of the people in my theater just left. I think it was after the dog attack, because it really is gruesome and nasty. And yeah, just it's good though. The pacing is excellent. Never a dull moment in the film. There are moments of like that give you a little bit of breath, but they're always interrupted by something crazy happening, which is good. It always keeps you on your toes. The film's actually scary as well. I know I've been saying it's disturbing. Disturbing and frightening are two different things, but this is also frightening. There's a lot of creepy, atmospheric moments, and sometimes the disturbing moments are also creepy moments, which is good. There's a lot of tension and atmosphere and build up to everything that really happens in this. And yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I will stand by that. This is by far my favorite film of the year. Highly, highly recommend it. I almost saw The Exorcist in the theaters over this, but I found one theater near me that was playing it, and it is one of the best decisions I made in a long time. It's coming to Shudder as well. So when it goes there, watch it. I'm certainly picking up a physical copy if they release as well. So yeah, this gets my highest recommendation. One of my favorite films I've ever covered on the channel. So yeah, that's it for today. As always, I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, signing off. Zero thoughts, zero editing, zero brain cells, and zero plating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. And thanks for watching.